Hello everyone and welcome to Rajput, Jain and Associate. Today in this video we will discuss about filing of Form FC-GPR. So starting with the meaning of Form FC-GPR. Form FC-GPR is issued by the Reserve Bank of India when a company receives foreign investment. Accordingly, the company will issue shares to a foreign investor on such investment. Thus, it is mandatory for the company to file details of such allotment of shares in the Form FC-GPR. Now, what are the conditions for filing Form FC-GPR? Any company having foreign investment is required to report to RBI. So, some of these conditions are, first of all, the foreign investment should be received in compliance with the Foreign Direct Investment Policy. Secondly, the security should be issued in accordance with the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. Next comes the due date for filing Form FC-GPR. So the company should file this form to the RBI within 30 days from the date of issuance of securities. Before reporting the transaction, the applicant is required to obtain certain details while filing the form. First one is the unique identification number that is issued from the RBI by reporting the advance foreign remittance. Next is the KYC report of the beneficiary if the remitter and the beneficiary are from different entities. Then comes a certificate from the company secretary of the entity, a certificate from the RBI registered chartered accountant or a merchant banker stating that the method of arriving at the price of the shares allotted to the individual or the person residing outside India. Next comes the statutory auditor's certificate, the copy of board resolution passed by the company, the allocated loan registration number, details of transfer of shares made by the company, a no objection certificate received from the remitter in respect of the shares which is being allotted to the third party mentioning their relationship. Then comes the copy of the letter from the foreign investor indicating the reasons for making a subscription to the shares by the remittance on his behalf. Next is the copy of board resolution or the agreement from the investor company for issuance and allotment of shares to the foreign investors other than the remitter. Next is the reason for any delay in submission in case if any. Next we come to the documents required for filing Form FC-GPR. So the documents required for filing FC-GPR are, first of all, a declaration is to be attached as other attachments as per the format given in the RBI user manual. Then comes the CS certificate which is to be attached as the other attachment as per the format given under RBI. Then comes the valuation certificate that is to be attached in the place of valuation certificate as prescribed and applicable under FEMA Act. However, for the right issue, the valuation certificate is not required. A declaration in the plain paper can be attached that the right issue to the person or individual resident outside India is not within the range of price less than the price that has been offered to the person resident in India. Then comes the relevant acknowledgement letters which is to be attached as other attachments for FCTRS which is filed for the original investment for right or bonus issue. After this is the board resolution that is to be attached in the other attachment form with the relevant extracts. Next comes the memorandum of association which is to be attached along with the relevant extracts. Then the merger, demerger or amalgamation is to be filed as specified attachments, relevant provisions and approvals from the competent authority with the relevant extracts. Next comes the FIRC and KYC. So FIRC or the Foreign Inward Remittance Certificate and the KYC is to be attached in place of specified attachments. Now at last we come to the filing process of Form FC-GPR. So step 1 is the registration of user. So any applicant reporting their transactions with the RBI can use the login credentials which is authorized to him or her to report the transaction. To register as the new business user, the applicant has to visit the official website of firms. Click on the registration for new business user and fill up the relevant details in the form. After filling the details, the business user needs to submit the registration form with the concerned authorized dealer bank and the same will verify it. The rejection or approval of the same would be intimated through the email to the business user. The Form FC-GPR is issued by the RBI when the company receives the foreign investment and against such investment the company allots the share to the foreign investor. Then it is mandatory for the company to file details of such allotment of shares using the Form FC-GPR. Now second step is once the login credentials is completed, the applicant is required to log in into the firms with RBI. To log in the firm's portal, the applicant needs to provide the username and the password that is received via email. Third step is to log in into the single master form. After completion of registration as a new user, the applicant would be required to log in into the firm's portal and the SMF and reach Your Workspace tab. Click on the navigation button and select the single master form. Under this, they have to fill the Form FC-GPR login details. Next step is to choose the return type, in which the applicant shall choose FCGPR. Click on the return type to view the different views and different types of forms and select Form FC-GPR, in which the details like the SIN number, PAN number and the company name will be auto-filled or pre-filled, while some of the other details are required to be filled manually by the applicant. Fifth step is details of investment. Now the investment details like the shareholding pattern and the date of issuance of shares to the investor are required to be reported in the single master form. Next is filing of the investment details. So the details like the nature of the issue, the date of issue, initial FCGPR reference number in case of subsequent filing has to be provided. So next step is the issue details. Details like the nature of the issue, the date of issue, initial FCGPR reference number in case of subsequent filing has to be provided. Next, step 7 is the foreign investment details. The foreign investment details such as the number of the investor, the address of residence constitution and the nature of the investing entity has to be provided by the applicant. Next, step 8 is the amount of issue. Fill the total amount of inflow and the total amount for which the capital instrument has been issued. Step 9 is the particulars of issue. Now fill the fair value of issue in rupees as per the valuation certificate issued by the authorized person along with the attachment as valuation certificate. Then the step 10 is the shareholding pattern. The value of equity shares and the indirect foreign investment value of equity shares will be displayed under the option shareholding. Furthermore, pre-transaction and post-transaction values are auto-calculated based on the details provided by the applicant. Then the user is required to confirm with the details provided so that the shareholding pattern is auto-calculated correctly. Next step is the submission of form. So once all the required detail is provided and filled properly, the applicant shall click on the Save and Submit button for submitting the form. So this was all about filing of Form FC-GPR. For more details or any assistance required, contact Rajput, Jain & Associate. Thank you.